All right, so I'm working on my staging yard here. This is the height I decided on because I'm battling with two things here. Number one is I can't afford to put a helix in here anywhere. Anytime I try to see if I can squeeze it into a corner or under the stairs, it takes up way too much room. And I'd rather see the train a lot or as much as possible. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So what I've decided on is just doing a very, very long run, a long lead that's gonna get to that level. Now, the other thing I'm battling with is how high to make that level, or actually what the distance should be between the upper level and the staging. I was actually going to make it a foot so I can be very comfortable getting my hand in there in case something derails or whatever. And in fact, I actually mounted it that low. You can still see the screw holes down there. But then when I measured my lead, no matter how far back I tried to start, I was still like at a 4%. You know, it's just not enough to comfortably get down here. And I don't want to have to like force, you know, the locomotives or put like a bunch of helpers on just to get up out of the yard. I want it to just be easy. So I'm looking to do like between a 2 and a 3%, 3 max. So what I said was, well, let me split the difference here. How high can I make the staging yard? Still get my hand in there. Still have room for the switch machines on top if there are any. So I decided on this height, which I believe it's about. I mean, from the top to the the actual surface where the plywood is there. It's 9 inches. Now that's not terrible. I still get my hand in there. I actually tried it by putting some cars right there and just tried to see if I can reach behind there. I can. It's definitely enough clearance. And I have a pocket from the 1x4 to mount any tortoise machines, so this should not get in the way. And if I have oversized cars, like box cars that are a little higher, or I don't like container cars too much, but if I do run them, I think I'll be okay. It'll still have enough clearance. So I decided on this height because from my calculations, it looks like I'm able to get like a 2.5% grade here. So here's what I'm using to get that. The formula is basically the height that you're trying to, get down to, divided by the run. How many inches it takes to get to that point. So I finally got around to cutting some Homosote board, which is what I'm going to be using for the spline. And I kind of quickly mounted it a little bit just to see what it's going to feel like. And I am going to start here. Now, if I need another foot or so, I'm going to start here, but then I have to get around this pole, so I'm trying to avoid that. So starting here, with a nice lip, it's not like it's like shooting down. There's still enough of a transition there. It looks like I have 33 feet. Now, here's how I'm getting that. This tool is is actually great. Like I've never seen people use this tool on a layout, but my wife was using it to measure property because she's a real estate appraiser, and she uses this outside just to get an idea of how big the house is or whatever she uses it for. But I took it from her and said, let me just borrow this for a second. So, here's what I'm doing. I'm actually rolling it on the spline. So by doing this, I'm getting a much more accurate measurement around these curves because I don't, when you do it on the floor, you can't really tell. So when I get to the clamps, I just kind of roll over them. So I'm just going to try to do this quick because I don't want to make this video too long, but I basically go like this, then I just go here, and then I get back on the spline. All the way to, oh, my trash falling. basically around there somewhere. So I'm reading 33 and a little bit. 33 gives me about, you know, if you times 33 by 12, you get 380 something. Yeah, around there somewhere. So when you do the calculation, you divide it by the height, which is 9 inches. It comes out to be about 2.5 or a little more. I don't remember exactly the calculation I made, but that seemed comfortable. That seems nice and steady and not. I don't have any crazy. I mean, that's going to be a constant climb at 2.5. That's definitely manageable, especially with like 2 locomotives or more. And I think that'll aesthetically look better on my layout than having to try to jet out here and make a curve, you know, and so on and so forth. And these curves, I mean, I was kind of generous. I mean, I think these curves. This is like a 28, where the rail is a 28. So that must be like a 30 or more. Let's see if I have any 30s. I think this is a 30 here. I preset these curves on the track so I can tell where I am. Actually, this is a 36 if I remember correctly. So yeah, so I would say it's about a 34, 32 around there somewhere. And that's comfortable. That's nice. That's a nice sweeping curve. Not gonna have any equipment like hanging over or any, you know, anything uncoupling because it's too tight. And then there's a little S here. And the reason why I'm going all the way to the wall is because I want this to be the least intrusive in front of the staircase as possible. So actually, I'm gonna probably get a little tighter there. So that curve might have to be a little tighter. You know, this curve is super wide, so I'm probably gonna push this back a little bit, make it a little tighter. But either way, I want to try to get away from the benchwork a little bit so I can put some scenery or a wall or something there, so it doesn't look like, you know, like a toy going down the side of the layout. So that's where I'm at. Thoughts would be great. I appreciate it. But that's why I'm doing this. I just don't have the room. I mean, I have a big room. Let me not be a jerk about this. This is a very big room, the biggest I've ever had. So I'm very grateful for having this space. But the way it's laid out, because I have a door here, I have a swing gate, and then on this side, you know, there's always something in the way. That's in the way, or the stairs are in the way, or my wife doesn't want anything blocking here. So I'm trying to, you know, get as close as possible to the wall. There's something always in the way. And I want to make my staging yard here because it's going to, once it gets into staging, it's going to basically turn around. This is going to be where the peninsula is. That's going to be my return loop, and then it'll be on the other side of the pole coming backwards. So I'll probably have like 4 tracks on that side, 4 tracks on this side, and I can store a lot of trains in there. And then this will be the throat going back in to the turnouts. So, you know, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this makes sense. And I was using my phone to calibrate, you know, what the angle is, and you know, it keeps saying like 1 degree. So I don't know how that translates. And pardon my lack of mathematical skills, but I don't know how that transfers to actual grade, because it's, you know, the degrees of the slope are not, you know, telling you how long the run is necessarily. So, you know, there could be a part where it's like suddenly jumps up. So that's not very accurate. So I'm trying to just figure out where I should be. I do know that 16 feet gets you down 4 inches at a 2%. So I figured, you know, wherever the 16-foot mark is, I should lower the masonite, the homosote, to that level if I do want it to be at a 2%. So the way I you know, actually 16 feet is right around there somewhere. So I am 2 inches low right there. Actually, it should be 4 inches low. So you know, I'm probably running this at like more like, I don't know, 1% or something. I got to redo the math, recalculate this thing. But anyways, that's where I'm at. All right, thoughts would be great. Thanks. Bye.